going to go over how to change the springs in the TX15 Max real quick. The ones that come with it are much looser than the AGO ones, so you can swap them out and get some more tension from it. So to do this, you're going to need the springs that come with the TX15 Max. They're a little heavier. Phillips screwdriver, some tweezers to grab the spring and hook it over, or something else, and a 1.5mm driver and a 2mm driver. And it's a 1.5mm on the front, and this inner slot right here tightens the left-right tension from the front, and the corresponding ones, you've got the inner one right here, and then the corresponding one kind of on this side, on the outside, does the vertical. And when mine came, they were all the way tightened out of the box, so it was still super loose. So to get at it, first thing you gotta do is get the battery out of there so we're not running power while we're fiddling around. And put this back on. Okay, and then to get in there, we're gonna have to peel up these grips, and they've got these nice little indentions here. Camera's not focusing, but you can get in there, and when that pops out, it releases some tabs. So there's tabs on the inside. Camera's not cooperating. There's tabs on the inside, and on the outside, it's smooth. So you can get this part, a nice smooth line. And on the inside, pop these tabs out, and when you're putting it back in, you'll just do the reverse. So you put the tabs in first, squish them in there, get them in, and then just tuck in the outside. All right, same for this side. Pop that out. Get those out of there. Cool, so we got those, and then you'll use the 2mm driver. There's going to be 4 screws in the corners. So this is 1. You can see them in there. This is 1, 1, and 1. I wonder if this is messing up my focus here. Okay, and so you can carefully lay this on the gimbals, and then lift this shell straight up, and the screws will stay in the shell. And that's kind of because it might be hard to see here, but there's these guys, and those go into slots. A slot here. Those are my things here. So there's a channel that those have to go into, so it needs to go up straight, and then you just go set it down straight. Okay, so once we're in the radio, be really careful not to, touch stuff. And there's the throttle stick. It only has the springs on one side. It's on, when it's throttle, it's using a tension bar that it goes, and then the spring, you can see, is moving when we go side to side. It's this arm that it refuses to focus on. Okay. It just doesn't want to focus. All right, so when you move the roll stick right here, it makes space, and you can see that the spring is hooked on the bottom here. So down here, and then up here, there's a little tab that it hooks onto. And so basically you just want to use the tweezers, and you can unhook the top, and then the bottom one is connected to this screw right here. And so same with this side. So if you loosen this screw all the way out, or at least quite a ways, it's going to raise this little tab in here up so that you can unhook the screw, and you can hook in the new one, and then use your tweezers, and it'll be hanging by the bottom one. Use your tweezers and grab it and hook it over this top one here, and then go back to the front and tighten this inner spot here back down. And that is it. And so in order to actually get at it, it's probably advisable to go ahead and pop out these screws. So there are 3 screws and this and 1 plug. So I'll just do it real quick here. So you can pop out the plug and unscrew these guys here. And after each one, I like to drop them out. But these 3 screws are the only thing, or 4 screws are the only thing holding it in. So once you've got the fourth one out, it'll just fall out. And I'm lightly holding the gimbal so that otherwise it would just fall out. So with those out of the way there. Okay, so now we've got this bad boy out. And to get at the spring, you would grab it on here and unhook it, and then loosen that, and then unhook it off the bottom, swap it out. And the same with this one, but it's even easier because it's more accessible. So you just unhook the top, unhook the bottom, and then you can really get at this one. But to get into this stuff, it's a lot easier. Instead of trying to fight it in the radio, since it's so easy to just pop those 4 screws, and then you can get access to it. So to get this back in, it's easier to put the screws in first. You got 2 of them that are full circles and 2 that are kind of crescents. And so I'll get the 2 circle ones in, and then 1 crescent, and I like to hold it with the driver like that, kind of, so you can carefully set it in, back in, and you're looking for these circles, of course. You get it basically set, and the gimbal kind of wants to set there, and then I'll do the first one out of this crescent, just a couple turns, make sure that it's getting into the circle and you're not running the screw into the side thing. Right, so last one. It can be easier to put it on the driver first and then these times. This stuff is all it's very fiddly. It just takes some patience and just hang out and do it. So all of them, if you tighten one first, it might get skewed and offset and make it so the other ones don't line up nicely. So you want to make sure all the screws can get in their channels first before cinching them down, and put pressure on the driver so that you don't strip them. And make sure you get your plug back in. Okay, so same thing for the throttle, except for it's easier because you only have the tension bar for throttle tightness. So this bar is what moves with this. And so you would just tighten this right here to get more out of that. Okay. And then the yaw, you can see it moving, and it's the same as the other one where you've got this bar that bottoms out. So it's this, on mine it's gold. So this bar bottoms out and it's kind of blocking your access to the bottom of the spring. So to get at it, you're going to have to do the same thing. Go to the front, go to this inner one there, and loosen it. And by loosening that, it's going to take the bar and raise it up off the bottom there, so you can get better access to the spring. And you're gonna have to get pretty fiddly with it and take the new, unhook it off the top, unhook it off the bottom, grab the new one, get it to hook on the bottom, and then get it with kind of some force probably, and get it over the top. You might also be able to use like a little hook tool or something, but that's what I did, and it worked for me with some practice, or some patience. All right, so you put it all back together. Get your screws into the four corners, and then we're going to be really careful with this center pin so it's just a straight down thing, and you don't force it at all. You just want to find where straight down is, and it will settle on its own. So here I'm too far to the side, so you don't want to force it. I'm noticing this is getting a little squished. All right. Patience, patience. There we go. And then it finally settles down. And then it will clip together with essentially no force. Just goes right back. And then we'll get our screws. All right. And then to get the grips back, start with the tabs. And you get those in, jam them in there. This is all kind of rubbery, so it can handle a little bit of pressure. You just really want to get the tabs in first. And then tuck in the outside after. There we go. Push it in there. Push them in there with some pressure, especially in this like corner here, and then the rest just kind of tucks in. There we go. Sweet, perfect. So those are back. There we go. Sweet. And now you've got some more tension in your sticks.